It's Phil Lindemann with your Krystal 93 News at 4. Police are still investigating a suspicious death in Frisco. Around midnight, cops were called to a residence for a medical emergency and found a woman dead. A search warrant then led to the arrest of one suspect. The victim and the suspect have not yet been named. Their relationship also unclear. Criminal charges are pending. This weekend was the busiest on I-70 since late September. Nearly 124,000 cars traveled I-70 through Summit Friday into Sunday. That's nearly 5% more traffic than the previous weekend, but 8% less than post-Christmas weekend last year. Looking back on December, we saw 441,000 cars in 4 weekends. That makes it one of the slowest months of the year, just 10% busier than November for the first time in recent history. You have to go all the way back to 2007 for a slimmer margin between Christmas and Thanksgiving. Our Best of 2025 series continues with a look back at the MLK Freeze, when temperatures barely crawled above zero for days in a row, and the lifties at Breck Terrace were left out in the cold. A spontaneous employee walkout at Breck Resort today has exposed flooding, busted pipes, leaking sewage, and weeks without heat or hot water at Breckenridge Terrace, the resort's employee housing on Airport Road. I talked with one liftie who refused to work today. His ground floor unit flooded when temperatures hit -20 over the weekend. It's been fixed since then, but his bathroom ceiling's been flooded with sewage for weeks. The resort offered him housing at Keystone and 1 day of refunded rent worth $17. He calls it a slap in the face. Another resident tells me he has been sleeping in his uniform to stay warm when the heat goes out. I agreed to air their stories without using their names. Unlike Breck's ski patrollers, these entry-level employees do not have a union. Most tell me they will be at work tomorrow because they cannot afford to miss it. Breck COO John Copeland has responded. He confirms repairs are happening now at the terrace and calls the situation there completely unacceptable. A Vail Resort's maintenance task force is on site now at Breckenridge Terrace, the company-owned employee housing with flooding, leaking sewage, and no heat. This task force was called in yesterday when dozens of employees refused to work in protest of their living conditions. Today, lifties are back at work. All but 2 chairlifts are spinning at Breck. Company officials say the maintenance task force will be at the terrace until every outstanding issue is fixed. The heat is back and standing water's been drained at Breckenridge Terrace, where ski resort employees reported months of deplorable living conditions. Breckenridge Resort tells Krystal 93 all heat and hot water issues have been resolved, and a special maintenance team remains there to manage new work orders. We have been hearing more from residents at Breck Terrace, the ramshackle employee housing on Airport Road. One says she's pretty happy with recent changes there. She has reliable heat again for the first time this winter. A special maintenance team has also sealed cracks in her unit and replaced communal washing machines. The laundry room there had been unusable for most of this ski season. Now we take you to September with a student rally at Summit High School, soon after 2 people were seriously injured by a student shooter at nearby Evergreen High.
Keep us safe! Keep us safe!
Hundreds of students gathered outside of Summit High School today, leading chants and waving signs reading "Protect Our Children" and "Graduation, Not Graves." Among them was Bay Mansky. She was there to support a victim of last week's deadly shooting at Evergreen High School.
I'm out here just for justice for her and making sure that her family knows that she's going to be okay. She's currently in the hospital right now, but everything will be okay.
Mansky remembers exactly what went through her mind after that shooting.
Is our school going to be the next one? And that's something that scares me the most.
The rally itself was organized by a pair of Summit students, Ellie Shabbat and Season Curry.
We first started by texting all the group chats, sports group chats, class of 2026, and then we went around during lunch and told people to come, and I feel like that was really effective.
Cars honked and students cheered. Ellie and Season were inspired, and they were grateful for the teachers who supported this movement.
I'm really just proud of our school and how everybody came and showed up. It takes a community.
The Summit rally was one of dozens today. Potentially tens of thousands of students took part statewide. The shooter at Evergreen, 16-year-old Desmond Hawley, died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. His 2 victims were released after weeks in the hospital. Jefferson County Sheriff today has debunked myths of a hit list for Hawley, detailing other peers that he was targeting. His motive, though, for the crime remains unclear, although investigators believe he was fascinated by mass shootings. Tune in again tomorrow for more with the best of 2025. In sports, the Nuggets play the Heat today, the Avalanche face the Kings, and in local sports, less than 2 weeks until the Breckenridge Vipers are back on home ice. They're playing the Steamboat Vigilantes Saturday, January 10th. Phil Lindemann, Krystal 93 News.